There are a lot of different badges that you can get on Amazon Seller Central. Some of them are overall pick badges, some of them are bestseller badges, but overall, people are a little confused on how you actually get that badge on your product. It's illustrious and elusive, and it can really boost your conversion rate on the platform. My name is Noah Wickham. I'm sales director here at My Amazon Guy. We're going to dig into how you're going to get your first ever Amazon's Choice badge. So, what are all these badges and which ones am I talking about? Well, if we look over here at Amazon.com, we have a couple of different options. So we can scroll down here and we can see some different ones. So you can see here there's an overall pick badge, and it does give some highlighted features. Rated 4+ stars, purchased often, returned infrequently. But that's up in the air, right? As to what it actually could mean. Secondarily, we can scroll down more and we can see some other options here. So for instance, we have one here for bestseller badge. You can see that's in a specific category. So we're starting to piece together some differences in how these badges are going to come about. But you'll see mostly you're not going to actually see anything else here as far as badges go. And why is that? And why are we only seeing specifically one overall pick and not really seeing any Amazon Choice badges or anything? Well, a couple of listings here. So for this one, first and foremost. So we have this Hum Pro ACV gummy where you can see we have an Amazon Choice badge. Then we also have the one from earlier where it is Amazon Choice, but it's overall pick. So what are these badges and how do you get them? Well, each one is separate from the other. So there are some badges that are a little bit easier to get. So one being Best New Seller, right? Best New Seller badge is one specifically for new sellers in a category. It means you have to be in your first 90 days of sale, but also be ranking one of the best as far as selling goes within that specific category. So if we go back to the apple cider vinegar here, you'll actually see that Ali has the bestseller badge, but it is specifically for chromium mineral supplements. That is because if we go over into this category, this is the #1 placement as far as this category goes. That is the very important distinctor when it comes to the bestseller badge. So the bestseller badge is always going to be category dependent. Doesn't matter what your reviews are, it doesn't matter what your sales velocity is, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that you are #1 ranked within any specific subcategory. Now, this is an important distinction because, for instance, you can see here that this has less reviews than #2, right? And #3 and #4. So all these 2, 3, and 4 all have more reviews than this #1 placement, because at the end of the day, it doesn't actually matter how many reviews you have for specifically the bestseller badge. It just matters that you are placed first. So that's going to come down to a few factors. #1 primarily is always going to actually be sales velocity. Pricing comes into play for sales velocity, and so do reviews, but you can see, for instance, that this one has less reviews and a higher price than any of its counterparts. At the end of the day, Ali is just winning from a sales velocity standpoint because they're pushing more from an ad side and they're getting more sales on a monthly basis. We can actually look at the sales data for each of these to get an idea of unit sales. You can see that Ali is over doubling the next highest unit sales. So Ali overall is, with a higher price, over doubling the next highest person. So that is how they are getting the bestseller and getting ranked 1 for specifically chromium mineral supplements. Now, what about the other ones? So for instance, again, we have something like Amazon Choice here, and then we also have Amazon Choice overall pick. So these badges are a bit different. So Amazon Choice, we can actually scroll over, highlights highly rated, well-priced products and available to ship immediately. Specifically, Amazon Choice badge will pop up whenever a product is starting to have very high sales velocity, but also is not running out of stock, and they are essentially moving very quickly for their 180-day average sales cycle. So again, if this is a newer product, such as it is, again, we only have about 100 reviews on this product, we're over 4 stars, and it is moving rather quickly, Amazon will throw an Amazon Choice badge on there, which helps even more. Overall pick, this is going to be keyword dependent. So that's the big thing to understand when we are looking at any type of Amazon's Choice badge, because they are keyword dependent. And what does that really mean? Well, you can see up here in the top, apple cider vinegar gummies. So we talked about how bestseller is all about rank 1 within a category. Well, you don't have to be rank 1 to be an Amazon Choice overall pick. In fact, a lot of times you aren't. most of the time when we are looking at something like this is going to be search dependent. So you can see apple cider vinegar gummies. This is the overall pick for this specific search phrase. So this badge will change depending on what people are searching for. This goes for any search term whatsoever on Amazon. You can be the #1 overall pick for any type of search term if you have good reviews, you have a high sales velocity, high click-through rate, and high conversion rate with minimal returns for that search term. Now, this is usually calculated again on 180-day sales cycles because Amazon loves to look at average sales over a 180-day period. Does it have to be 180 days? No. But if you start improving, you have a likelier chance the longer you keep your sales cycle moving that direction. This goes for any type of search term. We can even type in something like balloons. And if we look at balloons, you'll see immediately overall pick right here. Now, this is a sponsored, but if we come here, just happens that they are rank 1 organically for this search term, which makes sense. Their overall pick at the end of the day. And again, as you can see, 4.5 stars, turned infrequently. These are the things to understand when you are looking at overall pick. Now, this could be overall pick within both category, and it could be overall pick for this keyword. This is going to matter greatly depending on what your actual search term that you're going after is. The reason I point this out is because you can technically get an Amazon Choice Badge any point in time for your product. The only thing you have to worry about is making sure that you stay above a 4.0 with your star rating. 4.3 is even better because that's going to help your conversion rate. You need to make sure that you are focused strictly on that keyword and ranking for that keyword. The longer that you are ranking on that keyword and the more sales velocity you have on that keyword, the easier it is to get that Amazon Choice Badge. Does not matter how many competitors you have, so long as you're actually increasing that 180-day sales velocity. That comes down to a few factors such as pricing, SEO, and your overall conversion. So all of those things are taken into account by Amazon. Then they look at your return percentage for your product on that keyword, and that is how you're going to be able to get your very own Amazon Choice Badge. So focus in very heavily on whatever your most highly relevant, highly specific keyword that you want the badge on, and try and make sure you have minimal returns, you're getting your sales velocity up there, and you are slowly but surely ranking higher and higher on there.